what happens when you have Sahih Hadith across the board, and how do madhahib prioritize? This is where, inshallah, Allah give us tawfiq when we pass the fiqh of ibadat, then we will do usul fiqh. If Allah give us tawfiq, the niyyah is there. Now we have a situation, madhahib, they have what? Sahih Hadith. And so Hanafis, their madhab, they prioritize reconciliation between the riwayat. They don't want to leave a single riwayah. They want to follow all of them. How do they do that? For example, let's look at the hadith where it says that adhan should be in twos and iqamah should be in one, right? So iqamah should be half of adhan. Adhan is 15 sentences. So what's half of adhan? Should be
7.5.
Or let's say 7, 8. With one qad qamat as-salah, it should be 9. No one does 9. So they say this is not what the half means. Plus, okay, you got Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, 4 in adhan. So other madhab cut it down to 2, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. But the last Allahu Akbar is 2. Why don't they cut it down to 1? There is no such narration. What the Ahnaf say, that this is not what the hadith means. They say that to do adhan in twos, meaning Allahu Akbar, 1. Allahu Akbar, 2. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. They say to do in one, meaning Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. Ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah, ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. Hayya ala salah, hayya ala salah. Hayya ala al-falah, hayya ala al-falah. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Qad qamat as-salah. Qad qamat as-salah. One riwayah can do 2, or you can do together. Qad qamat as-salah, together or separate. I'll come to the hadith. La ilaha illallah. They say this is more closer to the meaning of the hadith than, and this way you follow this hadith where it says do 1, and you have a mutawatir riwayah which says he used to do mathna, meaning he used to read it twice. So you do it twice and you're doing 1. So they say 1 meaning not have a gap and join them. Clear? This is Hanafi view. Where it says in the other hadith, the Shafi'is and the Hanbalis, they say, Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he say, كان الأذان على عهد رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم مرتين والإقامة مرة غير أنه يقول قد قامت الصلاة. So you can say قد قامت الصلاة. Have I lost you? You're following me? Lost you completely? Okay. Inshallah. Afterwards we can. It's not major issue if you don't understand it. All views are sahih view. But do you get that? So Hanafi, they prioritize reconciliation in their fiqh. Okay. Others do as well. Reconciliation between the jam' of the riwayat as much as they can. The Ahnaf, because reasoning is very important for them. So this is a good reasoning and it makes sense. And because they have only in Kufa, they have only heard mathna, so they say this is what these riwayats mean. Okay? It doesn't mean to say, oh, you are wrong if you do it otherwise. That's how they understand it. Malikis, what do they do in this situation? Malikis, they say, well, we are in Medina. They have a reconciliation as well. But they say we are in Medina we will see the amal of Ahl Medina. How do they do adhan and iqamah? Clear? They look at that. Hanafis will say, well, there is no basis to that because all of these ahkam and ahadith came from Medina. Just because there is amal of Medina doesn't mean it's priority over. That's just different ways of thinking. Yeah? The Maliki, they say this is the masjid of the Prophet. This is where the Sahabas are. This is where the Tabi'ins are. They've never left. Salah has been happening from day one in this place. They do it in a certain way. Yeah? They don't do Iqamah in that way right now. They do in the Hanbali way. Yeah, they do two Qamah al-Salah. Shafi'is and Hanbalis, they pay a lot of attention to the chain, the strength of the chain. You remember me saying how much narration there was when I mentioned the Shafi'i view? Maybe that's one of the reasons, because all hadith are sahih, but if you look at the transmission of this hadith is in much greater chains. Allahu A'lam.